Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 13 in the 2019 NOFSRL Haas IndyCar Series. We are here at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the Canadian Grand Prix. It's 16 laps of action around this 2.45 mile speedway in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada. And it's going to be a very interesting race when you consider the championship battle. And a lot of these guys in the championship battle start inside the top 10. So you know it's going to be really good in the championship, as we only have 4 races remaining in the season. We have this race here, Canadian Tire. Next week it's the duel at the Glen. Back-to-back races on multiple days at Watkins Glen. And then the finale at the Pocono Raceway. So a lot can happen between now and the finish, but one thing is clear. Justin Zajdel and Richard Kinghart have been at their top of their game the entire season, and they are still the top 2 drivers in points. Justin Zajdel, 307 points towards the championship for him. Richard Kinghart is 24 points behind. Cody Smart is 32 points behind. Christopher Altheby is 47 points behind, and Jonathan King, I believe he won. He actually almost won. Didn't quite win it at Pikes Peak 2 weeks ago. That was Dan Park, but he's 55 points behind coming into today's event. Justin Zajdel starts in the 7th position. Kinghart starts 10th. Cody Smart and Jonathan King start 5th and 4th, respectively. Really close to each other. Christopher Altheby starts in the 17th position here today at Canadian Tire. Remember, you get 50 points for a win, 40 for second, 35 for third, 32, 30, and then so on from there. So, point system's not exactly by position, but the farther up you go, the more points you get. And a lot of these guys in championship contention are starting inside the top 10. Let's go ahead and get these guys to roll off here from the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. As you can see, it is Christian Russell on the pole position in the number 4 machine. And he gets a bonus point towards the championship for winning the pole position here today. Alongside him, it's Colton Yeo going for his first win of the season. Both of these guys on the front row going for their first wins of the season here in the IndyCar Series. Got the number 6 machine of Christian Vargas. He's alongside the 28 of Jonathan King, a championship contender. He's 55 points behind, just about a race behind Justin Zajdel in points with 4 races left. A huge opportunity for him, especially if he were to get the victory here today at Canadian Tire. Cody Smart, another guy. He's only 32 points behind our points leader. He won at Road America, which is the last road course we had here in the Haas IndyCar Series. He's alongside Tyler O'Ritty in row number 3. Row 4 sees the number 10 machine. Our points leader, Justin Zajdel. He's alongside Jeremiah Earls in the number 12. And then in row number 5, Dan Park alongside the guy who's second in the championship standings, Richard Kinghart, in the number 13. So everybody's rolling off right here. Good to see that. There's Angel Olvera, winner from Lime Rock. Nathan Faden's alongside him there, number 21. Faden's been pretty consistent in the points. I do believe he's still top 10 in the championship standings. Texas winner Thomas Troxell's there. Indianapolis 250 winner Audra Baranowskis alongside Al Agassi. There's Christopher Altheby, who has pretty much been in the top 5 in points the entire season, but he's never really gotten any higher than 4th in the points. Of course, he won at Auto Club earlier in the year. Deion Moon's won twice so far this year. Davey Johnson won the home opener. That was at Daytona. I don't know why I said home opener, but he won the opener at the Daytona International Speedway. And then I believe those are all the winners that we've had so far this season here in the Haas IndyCar Series 2019. So we're going to go ahead, get these guys to ride around this racetrack at some very high speeds. We've never come here before in the Haas IndyCar Series, so we really don't know what to expect, but we do know that the racing we're going to see is the fastest racing we've ever seen at this racetrack on Napa Fan. So it's going to be an interesting race. There will probably be one pit stop right about halfway, probably just past halfway, so it shouldn't be a fuel mileage game. But it will be a fun one nonetheless. And passing, since it is a road course, of course, will be difficult. So these guys, Christian Russell, Colton Yeo, they're going to have a bit of an advantage on the rest of the field. But other guys starting up front, like Jonathan King, Cody Smart, Justin Zajdel, and Richard King, are all those guys top 5 in points, starting top 10, with a huge opportunity at sailing away with this championship. Here we go! Green flag racing in Canada for Christian Russell and Colton Yeo. And soaring to the inside, Christian Russell with a great run on the inside of Colton Yeo through turn number 1. Takes a wide arc through turn 2, but he's going to pull away from the number 88 machine. Great run for him. Here's Jonathan King in a battle with Christian Vargas. And you want to get single file here, Canadian Tire. If you're double wide, it might slow you down. Jonathan King doing a good job right now, holding alongside, but you got to be careful with these corners. These are the slowest corners on the racetrack, and Vargas is going to have the advantage on the inside of Jonathan King. Jonathan King still going to get a good run. Currently in the 4th position, Justin Zajdel with a great jump. I believe he's going to be in the 7th position right there for Justin Zajdel. So a good run for him. Richard Kinghart, however, fell back just a little bit. It got Angel Oliveira ahead of him now in the number 26. He did not get a good jump. He's currently in the 11th position. But for the race lead, Christian Russell, bonus point towards the championship once again as he leads lap number 1 here in the Canadian Grand Prix. We are expecting a set of pit stops to happen right around lap 9, which is just past halfway, which means it should be a one-stop race. Colton Yeo under fire from Christian Vargas as Christian Russell pulls away in the number 4 machine. Vargas might be able to get a run here on Colton Yeo through turns 5. Of course, these corners up here on the hill are some of the slowest corners on the racetrack, and right there we got that 90-degree corner. That's where we see guys tend to make mistakes. At least when the Chick-fil-A Cup Series came here a couple of times, we saw that happen quite often. So we'll have to see how it affects these guys. But Christian Russell definitely seems to be figuring it out right now in the number 4 machine. He has a pretty sizable gap on the number 88 of Colton Yeo at this point. As everyone files out single file here at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Got double wide here and Christopher Altheby. That last lap was 15th after starting 17th. Going for another position right here. That's for 14th. Altheby wants to get up with those championship contenders. He's in championship contention, and he does not want to lose any points on the rest of the field here in this race. There's only going to be 3 races left. 2 races at Watkins Glen and Pocono, and so many crazy things can happen at those places that a nice solid racetrack like this is a good place to get a good run. So about a second lead there for the number 4 of Christian Russell. And it looks like we had a bit of an incident between Marty Johnson and Joe Rutkowski. Of course, any incidents that occur throughout the event, we will review at the end of the race here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. But a tough break there for Marty Johnson. And around our race leader! Christian Russell lost it through turn 5. Unbelievable, and a new race leader here at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. It's Colton Yeo in the number 88. And now, the battle for the race lead is really tight. But Russell just lost it through the corner, a rookie mistake. And he is going to fall back to about the 20th position. That is heartbreak for the rookie driver, and now Christian Vargas wants to get something back after what happened to him in the Indy 250. Of course, if you remember that race, he was the runner-up, but he was a dominant guy early on, had an issue, and rallied back to get to that position. But he just couldn't get on Audrey Baranowskis, his teammate there near the end. Of course, Jonathan King also wants to get something back from losing that Indianapolis 250, and for King, he's in championship contention now. And just think if he won that Indianapolis 250, he'd be closer to the points lead than he is at this moment. But right now, he's going to gain something on Justin Zajdel, as he is 3rd, and Zajdel is now in the 6th position. But you also got to watch out for Cody Smart, Jonathan King's teammate there, and Vargas is all over the 88 of Colton Yeo for the race lead. A great run here for Christian Vargas. He might get the advantage here on the 88 sometime soon. And he's pulled away from Jonathan King as well. That number 6 is really going fast here at Canadian Tire. You can see him try to get that advantage on the inside of Colton Yeo. He's not going to quite get it this time, but he might be able to get it the next lap around. Colton Yeo will lead his 2nd straight lap. So he's got a bonus point. If he leads one more lap, leads the most laps in the event, he'll get 2 more bonus points towards the championship. Jonathan King here, I think, is the biggest story because, yeah, Cody Smart, who is 32 points behind, right ahead of him. Of course, King is 55 points behind, so the way they're currently running, he'd be about, I'd say, 45 points behind Zajdel heading into the duel at the Glen next weekend. And because of that, you know, he still has a very good chance of winning the championship. And you got 2 races at Watkins Glen. I mean, by the time we get to the end of next weekend, heading into the finale race, the championship battle could look completely different than it does heading into this one. We'll follow in with Richard Kinghart. Kinghart rebounded fairly well. He's currently 10th, so he's not going to lose too much ground, but this is not going to help him because he will lose ground to our points leader, Justin Zajdel. And Alphabee's not doing bad either. He's up to the 13th position now. Of course, he got around Micah Knapp, and he gained a position on Christian Russell when he spun around as the race leader. But Alphabee's going to have a good chance at, you know, staying right with these guys. And with that, you know, all of these guys in the top 5 in points, finishing top 15, that's going to keep them all in championship contention heading into Watkins Glen next week. Colton Yeo, still the race leader. He's been able to pull away from Christian Vargas here. Vargas might have used up all his stuff there, and you got to think, too, we will have another set of pit stops. We'll have 1 set of pit stops in this race. It'll come about halfway through this event on lap 9, so you got to keep that in mind, too. These guys are not going to finish where they're running right now. And they might just be conserving until we get to that green flag pit stop. And of course, since we are on a road course, there are no cautions, so we'll run the whole thing out. And so far, only 2 drivers out of the race. That is Joe Rutkowski and Marty Johnson. Christian Russell currently sits in the 20th position after he led the first 2 laps of this race from the pole. But Colton Yeo now looking fast here in the number 88, able to hold off Christian Vargas here. Got a bit of a battle here. Cody Smart and Tyler already going after it here. And Cody Smart's another one of these guys who wants to get away from Justin Zajdel. He's going to get a run to the inside. That's a bold move there out of Cody Smart, but each and every position matters in this championship for guys like Cody Smart and Justin Zajdel. And gotta be honest, the points battle here in the IndyCar Series is 10 times more interesting than what it is in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And I'm really happy with the way this whole thing is cycled out. I mean, Zajdel's been a points leader for a very long time this season, and he still runs consistently, but he still can't pull away from everybody either because Kinghart, Jonathan King, Cody Smart, all these guys are right up with them in this race, and they're still going to have a shot once we get to Pocono in 3 weeks. So Cody Smart up to 4th now as he gets around Tyler ready for that position. That is going to be very beneficial towards the championship and Cody Smart's fight. Kinghart's not doing the greatest. He's still 10th, but he's not able to close in on Angel Oliveira ahead of him, and Nathan Faden's starting to close in just a little bit. Christopher Alphabee still in 13th, so not much change going on with these championship contenders at this point. Oh, and somebody pulling a little strategy here. That is Igor Barreto, who's already down the pit lane. I'm wondering if he had an issue in the number 19. The thing is, if he's already down now, he's going to have to make another stop, and he's stuck there. They're having trouble on the right, or the left side of that race car. So that's unfortunate for Igor Barreto. Barreto's a guy who's actually in championship contention as well, because I think he's maybe about 60 points behind these guys. But with that, he might be taking out of contention heading into Watkins Glen. We've had a great race here so far at Canadian Tire. I really like the way this one's turned out. But Colton Yeo starting to get a bit of a dominant figure here in Canada. Next time by, we're going to be halfway through the Canadian Grand Prix here. And good first outing here at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the Haas IndyCar Series. Say this place is better than Lime Rock, and I don't think Lime Rock's going to be coming back next year. Because we've had it 2 years there where the winner of the race led every single lap. No offense to John Andrews or Angel Oliveira, the past 2 winners there, but it's no fun when you just know the guy's going to lead every single lap. But we don't know that here, because pit stops are going to play a huge factor in who wins this race, and they should be coming down next time by, which is just past halfway, which means they should make it on 1 stop. So, nothing messy with the pit strategy here. We don't want that in a race. So Justin Zajdel in 6th, Cody Smart's 4th. Cody Smart in the 4th position would gain 32 points, while Justin Zajdel would gain 28. So he's only going to gain 4 points on him, but that'll put him 28 points behind Justin Zajdel heading into the duel at Watkins Glen. Jonathan King currently with 35 points, and Colton Yeo went around. Once again, the race leader with an issue. That is the 2nd time in the race that the race leader has spun in turn 5. Unbelievable. And now Christian Vargas leads the field here at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And Jonathan King just gained 5 more points out of all that. Cody Smart, however, will get a bonus point towards the championship. That is significant right there. He's going to stay out an extra lap. Jonathan King is in. This might be the move Jonathan King wants to make if he wants to beat Vargas to win this race. But two drivers, while leading, spinning through turn 5, the tightest corner on the racetrack. Both Christian Russell and Colton Yeo really making this championship scenario interesting. Now, Colton Yeo could play a bit of strategy here. He could go with 2 tires if he wants to. And he actually is going to go with 2 tires probably, because Vargas went with 2 tires, and Jonathan King's going to lose some ground. We'll have to see if these tires help King out. But Jonathan King's going to lose a lot of ground here. That is not at all what he wanted on that set of pit stops right there. Cody Smart, the race leader, a bonus point towards the championship for him, so now you can considerably say he's 31 points behind Justin Zajdel. But Justin Zajdel is right behind him, and Zajdel might play a strategy to get around Cody Smart here, because Zajdel's been top 10 this entire race. Cody Smart losing it heading into the pit lane. Did not have a good entry, and this is working out very well for Zajdel. They're going to have to repair that number 98 as he tried to come down. He was going in way too hot. So Cody Smart's going to head down the pit lane here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park as the race leader. But he's going to have to repair some damage to his race car as he smacked the inside wall there. But it seems like 2 tires is the way to go here. And this is a very good angle. You're going to see these guys come off the front straightaway and into turn number 1. And Justin Zajdel is going to jump the number 98, but he isn't going to jump Christian Vargas. But Zajdel is going to move up to the 2nd position, as Cody Smart had to repair the damage to his race car. He, I believe, still on the pit lane. Oh, that is just a heartbreaker for Cody Smart. Was running so well in this race, and just came in too hot down the pit lane and smashed it into the inside wall. He's going to lose so much ground out of all that. There's your race leader, Christian Vargas, in the number 6. But Justin Zajdel is the guy chasing him. And this is a dream scenario for Justin Zajdel. I mean, King isn't going to lose too much on him, but King was the guy who was 5th in the points. Kingart is ways behind. Alphabet was able to get around Kingart, so I just don't know who's going to be 2nd in the points after all this, but we do know that the points leader will be Justin Zajdel as long as he doesn't wreck out. Gotta remember, we've already had it twice today where the race leaders spun through turn 5 all by themselves. So it's possible we could see that with Christian Vargas or even the 2nd place driver Justin Zajdel, but I gotta hand a lot to Justin Zajdel this season. He has been extremely consistent. He's been the points leader a majority of the season. It's only around there when had the Kansas race in Indianapolis where Kingart took the lead from him, but since then Zajdel's been up front holding a comfortable lead, and it's going to get more comfortable heading into Watkins Glen, but Watkins Glen is a wild place. Boy, he almost lost it there. You can tell these guys are really going in hot entering turn number 5. Got Tyler Reddy there running 3rd. Great run for Reddy here tonight after he failed to qualify for the Indianapolis 250 earlier this season. Got Jeremiah Earls there in the 4th position. Angel Olvera running 5th. Dan Park, Jonathan King, 21 Machine of Nathan Faden, Thomas Troxel, and Christopher Altheby inside the top 10. I think Althby's done a really good job. He's gained 7 positions since the start of this race to get to where he is right now. But Christian Vargas, beneficiary of everyone else's mistakes here. As long as he races a clean one, he's going to gift this race victory here at Canada. Cody Smart fell to 26th. That is devastating towards his championship hopes here in the Haas IndyCar Series. Other guys, Colton Yeo, Christian Russell back in there outside the top 20 as well. Jonathan King, he just went 4 tires on the stop, and that strategy turned out to be a pretty poor one because he really hasn't been able to gain any ground. He might close in on these guys, though. He's about 6.5 seconds behind our race leader, but he's not going to have enough time to get to the race lead. I really don't see Jonathan King gaining on Justin Zajdel in this race, but he will stay within championship contention. And I think not Cody Smart really, but Richard Kingard and Christopher Altheby will also do the same. 3 laps to go for Christian Vargas here, and Colton Yeo is in the pits. After he was leading earlier on, looks like he's had an issue where he's wrecked, so tough break for him. So far, the only major wreck we've had was the one between... Oh, and off! Jeremiah Earls hard in the inside wall. And that's another position for Jonathan King right there. Somebody else is off, flipping through the air. That's Richard Kinghart. Second in the points. He lost it. Justin Zajdel could not have asked for a better race. This has worked out so well for Zajdel. Looks like we might have had an incident again. And Jeremiah Earls is not looking too good here. Hopefully he does not cut back onto the racetrack and cause an issue. But Jeremiah Earls is done, and Kinghart's also done in number 13. So that's not good for Kinghart. He's going to fall outside the top 20. All of these guys, top 5 in points, started inside the top 10 for this race. And it looks like only 2 of them are going to end up finishing inside the top 10. Actually, well, if you count Alphabet, he's also inside the top 10. He's 9th now. Alphabet's, Alphabet's been the quiet one this season. A lot of these other guys, like Jonathan King, Cody Smart, have come out late. But Alphabet, like I mentioned, he's been in the top 5 in points pretty much the entire season. Won an Auto Club earlier on, back in March, and he has put on a very good show for this team as a rookie driver. I'm very impressed with what he's been able to do. Putting it to veterans like Justin Zajdel and Richard Kinghart, I mean, all these guys who are in this championship battle with him have been on NAPA for a very long time. Alphabet, this was his rookie season. His first ever start in NAPA was a Daytona Road Course race. And 3 races later, he won at Auto Club. So he's been doing a great job this season, and would not be surprised if he was still in contention heading in the Pocono, because he could still have a shot. But Christian Vargas, a great shot at winning this race. White flag at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for driver number 6. Jaden Scott is down the pit lane now, and you see Kinghart in the pits as well. Kinghart is going to probably finish in about the 27th position. You really want to focus with Zajdel. I want to make sure he doesn't make a mistake. Thing about Justin Zajdel, he's yet to win a race this season. He wants Vargas to spin off. He wants to get that first victory of the year. Right now, it's looking like Christian Vargas is going to get the victory for Schmidt-Peterson. After he almost won the Indianapolis 250, there's the final, or turn 5, I should say, and he's going to get through it just fine. But Zajdel might lose the position here as Tyler Reddy's closing in. Reddy trying to make a move. On points leader, Justin Zajdel. I know Jonathan King wants that 15 to make a move on number 10. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And here comes Christian Vargas. He was in the right place at the right time. Winner at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, Christian Vargas. Second place will be Zajdel. Third, Tyler Reddy, Angel Veridan Park. And Jonathan King finishing 6th. Christopher Alphabet finishing 9th. But Cody Smart and Richard Kinghart both finishing outside the top 20 as they both had issues here today. Of course, Cody Smart might have gained a little bit there after all that happened near the end. Of course, you had Jeremiah Earls go off and Jaden Scott and Richard Kinghart right there. Looks like Kinghart will officially finish 26th. But you see there, Cody Smart going to get a 21st place. So a couple more points there for him. And he did lead laps. He was the only guy of those 5 championship contenders who led a lap here today. So every point's going to count. There's your race winner, Christian Vargas, getting it done here in the Canadian Grand Prix. That was one exciting race here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Let's go ahead and see what happened with these wrecks here. Review what happened during the race here in the 13th race of the season. And here's what happened. He was back in the field right on the first lap of the race. Marty Johnson, oh boy, he clipped into Rakowski, and their camera angles don't show it too well there. This was turn 5 again, but this was a little bit of a different incident compared to the other ones. Johnson lost it, came up on Rakowski and into the inside wall. They were both out on the first lap of the event here at Canadian Tire. And this is what happened to Richard Kinghart. He just lost it through the corner. And it was just before that, Jeremiah Earls did the same thing and knocked both of them out. That is really going to hurt King Art's chances at this championship. He's still going to be in contention, but Zajdel's going to have a pretty significant points lead. He got 40 points here today. But Christian Vargas, the race winner here at Canadian Tire. And you see all that happened on this lap. There's Jeremiah Earls going off. And then Jaden Scott had an issue too. So much happened on that one lap there. It was lap 14. Almost like someone spilled oil on the racetrack. But there's your race winner. Christian Vargas getting it done for the first time this season after finishing runner-up in the Indy 250. Let's go and get the official standings here from Canadian Tire. So Christian Vargas, the race winner. Justin Zajdel in second. Tyler O'Reilly, Angel Olvera, Dan Park, the top 5. Jonathan King and Christopher Alphaby are the 2 guys who really kept it together in this race. Of course, King had that off strategy where he went with 4 tires. If he didn't do that, if he went 2 tires, he might have won this thing. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case for King, but Christopher Alfie, I think, did the best job of all those guys top 5 in points. He started the deepest in 17th, and he rallied up to 9th, so he'll still be in championship contention, even though he might lose about 20 points in this race. But Justin Zajdel, man, I mean, this is why he's the points leader. He just keeps on doing things like this. He wasn't making a mistake the entire race, and it paid off for him. 40 championship points for him with that second-place run. And I don't know, we might be seeing Justin Zajdel hoisting the championship trophy in Pocono in 3 weeks' time. But either way, congratulations to Christian Vargas on the race victory. Hope you guys enjoyed this race. This series has been very fun for me this season. I have enjoyed this more than the Chick-fil-A Cup Series this year, I gotta be honest. And we're going to have fun with the final 3 races. Pretty much the best 3 races of the season, other than the Indianapolis 250. 2 races at Watkins Glen. The duel at the Glen is back. Then the finale at Pocono. We've never been to Pocono, but we're going to have the finale there. So it should be fun these next few weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Christian Vargas. Take a look at the rest of the results for you guys. Of course, Rakowski and Marty Johnson wrecked out. That's why they're the last 2 guys. Of course, Colton Yo also had an accident too. But we did not get to that since it does not have an effect on the championship. Christian Vargas, the race winner. Here are the championship standings for the Haas IndyCar Series. After 13 races, only 3 races remain, and next week, we're going to knock 2 of them out. So, by the time we get to this point next weekend, we're going to know the championship situation for the finale race. So it's going to be interesting here in the Haas IndyCar Series. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Christian Vargas, and I will see you guys later.